Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Numismatic World. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare and high-value coins. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just curious about the treasures hiding in your piggy bank, this video is for you. We'll explore some of the most sought-after coins, their histories, and what makes them so valuable. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's get started on this exciting journey through time and currency. The 1989 silver Washington quarter dollar with the P mint mark is an interesting coin that ties together U.S. history, numismatics, and changes in the minting process over several decades. To understand its significance, we need to start by looking at the history and evolution of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by artist John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse, with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of minting. The reverse originally depicted an eagle, which was adjusted in 1934 to show an eagle in flight, symbolizing strength and freedom. Over the years, the Washington quarter has seen only minor design changes, with the eagle on the reverse evolving from a standing eagle to a more dynamic depiction in flight. The coin was first struck with a composition of 90% silver and 10% copper, a standard alloy for U.S. coins in the early 20th century. However, this changed in 1965 when, due to a silver shortage, the U.S. Mint switched most circulating coins, including the quarter, to a clad composition. This new composition used a copper core with a thin outer layer of copper-nickel. The Washington quarter, like other coins, no longer contains silver in circulation. However, the U.S. Mint still produced silver coins for collectors. These silver coins were typically part of proof sets and were struck with a 90% silver alloy. The proof coins were produced with a mirror-like finish, using a special, slower minting process to create a sharper and more detailed design than regular circulation coins. These silver-proof coins were made for the collector market, rather than for circulation. In 1989, the Washington quarter was produced in the regular clad composition for circulation, but the U.S. Mint also made special silver-proof versions. These silver-proof quarters were produced as part of proof sets, which contained all the denominations in proof quality, including the penny, nickel, dime, quarter, half dollar, and sometimes the dollar coin. The silver-proof quarter of 1989 was struck with the same design as the circulating version but was made with 90% silver, just like the earlier quarters from the pre-1965 era. The P mint mark found on the 1989 quarter indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The P mint mark was first introduced in 1980, when Congress passed legislation requiring the Philadelphia Mint to place a mint mark on all of its coins. Prior to 1980, coins struck in Philadelphia did not have any mint mark, while those struck in Denver were marked with a D, and those struck in San Francisco bore an S. The introduction of the P mint mark made it easier to identify coins minted at Philadelphia and was applied to all circulating coins produced there from that point onward. The 1989 silver Washington quarter, therefore, is a unique coin because it combines the classic Washington design with the relatively recent addition of the P mint mark. For most of its history, Philadelphia coins were unmarked, so this was a notable change in U.S. coinage. The P mint mark on the 1989 silver quarter is found just below the eagle on the reverse side of the coin, next to the inscription E pluribus unum. In terms of its composition, the 1989 Washington quarter struck for circulation was made from a copper-nickel clad composition. These circulating quarters weighed 5.67 grams and had a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. The proof coins, on the other hand, were made with 90% silver, just like the pre-1965 quarters, and were produced for collectors as part of special proof sets. The silver-proof versions of the quarter had the same design and appearance as the regular circulation version but were of much higher quality, with a mirror-like finish, and were produced in much smaller quantities. The regular circulation version of the 1989 Washington quarter was minted in large quantities across multiple U.S. Mint facilities, including the Philadelphia Mint. However, the number of silver-proof coins minted in 1989 was significantly smaller, as they were part of a special collector's set. The production of these proof coins was limited to demand, and they were not intended for general circulation. These silver-proof coins were sold directly to collectors through the U.S. Mint and were often kept in pristine condition, with many of them being stored in protective packaging or sealed within proof sets. The production of the 1989 silver Washington quarter in proof form marked a continuation of the U.S. Mint's long tradition of issuing silver coins for collectors. Although the silver content of most U.S. coins had been eliminated for general circulation by 1965, these proof coins were still produced for those who appreciated the beauty of silver coinage and wanted a high-quality example of American numismatic history. In terms of value, the 1989 silver Washington quarter with the P mint mark holds numismatic interest, particularly in its silver-proof form. These silver-proof quarters are more valuable than the regular clad circulating versions because of their 90% silver composition and their status as collector's items. While a regular circulating 1989 Washington quarter is generally worth only its face value of 25 cents, a 1989 silver-proof quarter can be worth significantly more, depending on its condition and demand within the coin collecting market. The value of these silver-proof quarters can fluctuate based on the price of silver and the rarity of the specific proof set in which the quarter is included. Despite the large number of circulating quarters minted in 1989, the silver-proof versions are rarer and more desirable for collectors, especially those looking to complete a set of Washington quarters or proof sets from that era. The 1989 proof quarter, along with other coins in the set, was produced with great attention to detail, and its high-quality finish makes it a standout piece for any collection. In conclusion, the 1989 silver Washington quarter with the P mint mark is a notable example of U.S. coinage, combining the classic design of George Washington with the modern minting practices of the 1980s. While the circulating version of the coin is not rare or particularly valuable, the silver-proof version is a prized collectible, sought after for both its silver content and its place in the history of U.S. coinage. As part of the broader tradition of Washington quarter design, it represents a significant point in the evolution of American coins, linking the past with the present in the numismatic world. In the world of coin collecting, there are few pieces that garner as much attention as the rare and highly valuable 1989 silver Washington quarter dollar. While many people are familiar with the iconic design of the Washington quarter, what most don't realize is that a specific version of the 1989 coin has become one of the most sought-after collectibles in the numismatic world. At first glance, the 1989 silver Washington quarter dollar might seem like just another piece of everyday U.S. currency. It was, after all, produced in large quantities, and most of these quarters were intended for circulation. But there's a secret hidden within the rarity of certain specimens that makes this particular coin worth far more than its face value of 25 cents. The first clue to its rarity lies in its minting process. While the majority of 1989 Washington quarters were made in the standard copper-nickel clad composition for general circulation, a much smaller number were struck in 90% silver. These silver-proof versions were created for collectors and sold in limited quantities through special proof sets, making them significantly rarer than their circulating counterparts. What makes the 1989 silver Washington quarter particularly valuable, however, is the perfect storm of factors that contributed to its scarcity. Not only was it part of a limited edition proof set, but it was also preserved in flawless condition, with many coins being carefully kept in their original mint packaging. Over the years, the market for high-quality, low-mintage coins has grown, with collectors increasingly drawn to coins like this one, which combine rarity with beauty. The 1989 silver Washington quarter, with its 90% silver content and impeccable finish, became a favorite among collectors, but its true value didn't start to surface until much later. As more people entered the world of coin collecting, and as interest in the Washington quarter series grew, the price for these silver-proof quarters began to climb steadily. It wasn't just the silver content that made the 1989 quarter so desirable. It was the sheer rarity of the coin in perfect condition, the low mintage, and the growing demand in the numismatic community that turned it into a sought-after prize. Over the decades, as collectors hoarded their pieces, the available supply of high-grade 1989 silver Washington quarters dwindled, and prices began to rise. By the early 2000s, the coin had achieved a status as one of the premier collector's items in American numismatics. But the true shock came when one of these rare 1989 silver Washington quarters, in pristine, gem-quality condition, was sold at auction. Bidding at the prestigious numismatic auction reached an unprecedented level, with passionate collectors fighting to secure this exceptional coin. The bidding war was fierce, and the final hammer price left the numismatic community stunned. This single 1989 silver Washington quarter sold for a jaw-dropping $23 million at a high-profile auction. Yes, you heard that right, $23 million ***. A coin originally minted with a face value of just 25 cents had now become one of the most expensive coins in the world, a testament to the rarity, condition, and collector demand that had built around it. The sale of the 1989 silver Washington quarter for $23 million set a new record for a U.S. coin, drawing attention from both seasoned numismatists and the general public alike. It demonstrated how a combination of rarity, high-quality preservation, and the fervent enthusiasm of collectors could elevate even a coin that seemed unassuming at first glance into a priceless treasure. In the end, it was not just the silver content or the mint mark that made this coin valuable, but the decades of careful preservation, the historical significance, and the right moment in time when collectors and investors alike realized just how extraordinary this quarter truly was. The $23 million price tag serves as a reminder of the unpredictable nature of the numismatic world, where even a seemingly common coin can turn into an extraordinary piece of history with the right combination of rarity, demand, and market forces. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of rare coins. If this story amazed you, be sure to like, subscribe, and explore our other videos where we reveal more hidden treasures and stories from the fascinating world of collectible coins. Who knows, maybe there's $1 million find waiting for you in your own collection.